T1 duelist, so it's not exactly a surprise that we see that type of comp now over towards T1. Not a surprise either. Seeing the addition of Sky on this map is also going to be one that's going to be really fun to watch. I'll be completely honest there. But yes, Sonic, yes, Sully, map number 2 between Envy and T1 for a spot in the closed qualifiers is going down, and it's going down quite fast. Peek over towards the long area is going to leave 2 bodies down. It's Trades now leaving score between a 4v4.
Very fast play from Envy to go straight out towards mid, barreling down, looking for an early pick. They do go back 1-for-1, and Curry using, again, that Trailblazer to full efficiency. He's going to get a lot of space, or at least a decent bit of information that the majority of the B site opening is going to be pretty clear. However, a crossfire set up between Envy. FNS lined up in the middle of Tin Can. Marv looking for that early peek, and great information as a nade goes into the back site, but a huge paranoia gives FNS the advantage, but even then he still loses out in the fight.
Yeah, and really it's just T1 bursting their way onto site. Mame, basically no chance. Covered up in that back line. What a take, Sully.
Oh, Mame is actually able to get 10 seconds to the
Yeah,
heal. So it
honestly
honestly isn't impossible for Mame, to be completely frank with you. I mean, Mame's still with that heal, kind of dancing around. Too many crossfires to be watching out for, and Envy. One person takes the peek, the other person swings from either hookah or long, and Envy, they will drop the pistol. And after a very aggressive start, T1 will pick it up, and similar to the split fashion, they're going to go again for a pretty heavy buy here.
Yeah, they're going to want to counteract back with a little bit more of a buy, more than we would anticipate. That bonus is going to have to come in super clutch for them. Otherwise, you know, just talking about the approach early on, I do like the fact that Envy is getting a little bit more aggressive. Just kind of just a tinge of entertainment for us mainly, but also it's a good change of pace. Envy were quite quiet throughout that last map for very good reasons. We didn't see too many outstretched plays, as we were actually kind of accustomed to seeing from Marv under phase at least, so we could see them a little bit more. However, this round is going to be a little bit different. T1, of course, they have the SMGs, they have more than enough util, and they're going to be able to mow down their opponents. Sully, it's only 2 players left.
Curry's Trailblazer gets a kill as well. That 30 damage coming in clutch. FNS still sitting around the smoke, takes a good bit of damage off of the Viper as well, but he sits and he waits. He's at least good for the first frag, but it really wasn't going to be much in that 2 versus 5. Envy not able to get it much done, only a singular frag, and even then it's not too big of a deal, as T1 plenty of credits. They can bonus up here, and Envy, they will have their buy back, but T1 are going to be looking to keep this one as close as possible, right? And remove guns as best you can, and Envy on their defensive side. Again, we've seen a lot of pressure from Marv in particular, and how much kind of lurking power he wants to do. There's that Trailblazer kill, but now with the guns in their hands, you can expect to see Marv kind of maneuvering around the map and looking to take early engagements. We'll see what happens here as T1 are switching up the tempo a little bit. Curry's going to send in early guiding light to get info into showers, and it looks like the focus might be towards the A side here early on.
Man, I just like how goofy I just love how goofy how it actually looks when it actually kills someone. It's kind of that lunge forward and that bounce back from the body. It's a little funny. It's a little goofy. What shouldn't be goofy, though, is at least this hold from A, really nothing funny about it. It's going to be Envy very closely nades over toward that back line. I do like kind of the util that they've set up throughout site, Sully. This is a good retake.
Yeah, a really big util dump, at least from T1, and now they've used a good chunk of it. That paranoia, nade, seekers going in. Envy have got a pretty good advantage. They have that wall to utilize as well in the middle of that site, but so do T1, and they're going to throw theirs up early. Skadoodle up top looking for an advantage. With the lesser guns, the key thing is here, try and close the gap as best you can and play the numbers advantage.
And you see it from Automatic trying to close that gap over towards U-Haul, still trying to get as close as possible. Skadoodle going to be able to get a kill onto FNS. Nice 3-man swing from Envy right in the middle of site to try to overwhelm. And Crashes is going to be able to get a big kill, but the defuse is going in. Nobody stops it. Nobody's going to be able to stop the defuse. And what a setup in the middle of site as Envy takes it back.
It's that paranoia that Marv threw that completely disrupted that U-Haul stack from T1. They were really banking on those 3 players being able to swing and taking that fight onto the spike planner, but no, Envy. They disrupt it with 1 paranoia, sticking it amongst the smokes. There's just so much confusion, and 2 players kind of just puppy guarding Victor, ensuring that he gets the spike defusal. Envy will pick up the first round, but it's not without casualties. 2 Spectres downgraded, and that was T1's bonus, so now they've got their buyback.
Blinded.
Yeah, it's not that big of an issue for Envy, though. Good job just maintaining their players alive, just winning out that last little battle, because T1 could have honestly been in the advantage going into this round, because after the spike was diffused, you still had like 6 people alive on the server. Actually pretty efficient now that Envy is still alive and still packing up that heat in terms of economy. T1 could certainly be in the advantage, like I mentioned. But still, in we go. A couple of players over towards long, and Crashies was the one getting that info, but T1 just might be gone, Sully.
Paranoia set up here for Scududo to allow... Ooh, maybe not. I was going to say to allow Automatic to work his way in, but Automatic has already found his way in, so that's a very nice bit of utility to hold on to. Nice nade coming in from Victor. Gives Mummy a little bit more space to work with. A counter nade goes in, but Mummy's not shying away from the fight, but maybe he should have. He fights the bullet against Automatic. 2 players back over towards the B side. And T1 fully focused. Crashy's going to creep his way through and look for maybe a trade frag.
Crash is going for a little bit more, still down to just about 12 HP, and there you go. Yeah, Brax is going to be able to find at least that trade back. Still decent position from Crashies, but nobody was really there to try to support him. Look at this approach, though. Curry wants full control of your elbow, and he runs right into the crosshair, Victor. That's unfortunate, consider how slowly Curry was going and how dry that was. No utilization of the flash or anything. No! The showstopper! What? The showstopper didn't go out. Instead of the nade post-mortem. Sully that ends up getting the kill. Marv is still alive in a 1v1 against Skadoodle on the other side of the smoke. And this one's quite tough because Skadoodle is just going to hold on to this cubby. Watch out for Marv, though. The smoke is about to dissipate, and he goes right through Skadoodle. Has him right in the middle of his crosshairs. 3-1, and T1 certainly not losing out on any of their momentum.
Yeah, you wanted Marv to use that paranoia that it was holding on to, that he was able to hold on to because there was no A pressure. But he doesn't. He just goes in for a dry swing, and Skadoodle was able to catch him off guard. So Envy, not the best starts again. They had that again, that 3rd round win to cancel out the bonus from T1. But here, T1 bounced right back, and with Envy's casualties amassed, it's not going to be a strong buy here, right? 2 players had to go inspected this round anyway, so at least 2 players are not going to have a buy, and T1 in a comfortable position again to find a really strong way to reset Envy in this positioning, but this time it's a little bit different. Envy putting a lot more focus towards Showers to play for that retake, and they are bottling up in hookah as well. Envy are not shying away from these major choke points.
No, and I like that. Like I mentioned, Envy were quite a ways away from even battling these early interactions. We saw players like Marv trying to fight up the mid side of split, but this time we're seeing almost a collective effort from Envy, just trying to keep their eyes very, very closely on these choke points, and it might just work. Watch out, though. Victor has the wide swing out with that judge, and the satchel certainly helps. Automatic off that swing. He abandoned ship after the trade attempt. That is so clean.
Now they're just going to reset back. The Showers pressure. Marv is still sitting and waiting, but he's only got a pistol, and he still is going to net a kill. Phantom picked up, but he's still on low HP. They might expect him to pivot back to Showers, but they're going to leave one just to watch this flank.
No
Skadoodle, wary and watching this. Oh my goodness, Mummy's gone for the boost play.
Oh, Mummy on top of the boost. Oh, the pings. He gets Dawn right through the orb. And Mummy, is he still going? And he still has the judge? He had no opportunity to actually pick up a rifle or 2. This could actually still be big for T1. A couple of players over towards that back line. There's one right in the middle of sight that could definitely catch up. And there goes Brax. There goes that Hunter's Fury. The Hunter's Fury is not going to connect. Brax is still watching out for that flank again. And my, oh my, what a setup.
An outrageous outplay from T1, but it might not result in the victory. Skadoodle had the fake, had the read, got the Hunter's Fury up, but now he needs 2 kills, and only with 4 HP. Not a lot to spare in this situation at all, and he only knows where 1 is. He's going to take the peek. No, instead dances around the Radiant box, and that's where he rests. 2-3 for Envy on an eco round, essentially. T1 nearly had a crazy outplay from Skadoodle, but unfortunately, with that low HP and Brax not able to find more kills, it's Envy that have a 2nd round and will close the gap to just a 1-round deficit.
And I know we saw that play earlier, but man, give some props to Mame there. Super ballsy to go up for that Sage Wall, and he was still able to get a 2nd kill. Potentially, you could call it cheese, but it's the one-off kills, Sully, that are going to win you games sometimes. And if it's such a back-breaking round like that for a reset, tell me that judge play wasn't worth it. It's more than worth it. The Sheriffs are now out for T1. Now they're left on the back foot. Envy, again, I am just starting to enjoy more and more of their playstyle as we go.
Oh, Marved again alongside FNS sitting up in showers, and it could be a calamity from these 3 players approaching, but they decide to back away. Nice fake flash, Curry. Hoping that he could catch someone with their pants down. FNS, very smart to call up the snake bite to delay this push. Free orb picked up though. Seekers nearing completion, but it's slow. Envy not really willing to take any early kills, or at least earn any early engagements that might result in an early death. And
Careful.
well, the clearance into Hookah isn't going to last for too long. Envy, it's very quiet from T1. They were working away at that Showers control, trying to sell some kind of fake, and now Envy effectively, who have no control towards Showers, have to respect that, and that's why we see them keeping 3 players here. But this Hookah control, at least from Mame, could be massive. The wall will break and decay eventually, and that might create a burst and an opening for Envy, or apologies, for T1 to walk into the site, as again, they have pistols, they have a showstopper in their back pocket. Oh, what a ping.
Yeah, no, that ping is so huge. Mame at one point just wasn't anticipating an approach, but now we finally see it. Oh, okay, the recon bolt goes out, and Crashy still has the—
Oh my gosh!
Automatic! Colette! And not only that, but Victor coming in at the exact same time, getting 3 kills. Oh my god, that was so sick for a kill that we just didn't see from his perspective. And Brax is still going in, guns a-blazing, getting another headshot right onto Victor. Still 1 player in the back of sight. It is Marved, who will most likely be able to shut this down. If Brax still gets another headshot here, we might have to start stressing about this round going deeper, but no, it will not happen. It's going to be Marv taking down Brax. Now, folks, for those that didn't see the kill feed when we were reacting, that was a Sheriff Colette, Sully.
And it was completely random because he wasn't even intending for collateral. He just took the fight to Crash. He's point blank, and that was his only line of sight, and he somehow finds Mummy in the back. It's a nice kill, but it didn't amount to enough for,
no,
for T1.
yeah.
Envy able to confidently tie things up. Oh, I say confidently, but they only had 2 players walking away with that, so maybe a little bit scrappy. Still, though, the operator for Mummy, that is a big game changer. They've moved now the Viper FNS back to the B site. Mummy in his place is going to take towards long. He sees nothing. They feel nothing, and early on, with that information off the guiding light shown, Envy FNS is going to drop out the early Viper's pit for control.
Yeah, FNS can just chill this entire time, too. Just vibing out. ST1 certainly doesn't even want to make an approach. They're thinking about Hookah at the moment, but it's just a complete lack of info. They actually need to make that approach ASAP, and indeed they do. They finally have Hookah set up, and now they can finally explode onto site. It's just Long that they have to deal with. Automatic trying to find a way. It's going to be FNS and Marv both getting kills. Curry and Automatic at the exact same time, getting themselves combined 3. And as the dust subsides, everything is even, Sully, at a 2v2. The Seekers go out at the same time, and Envy are out and away to the site. They have no way that they can get back in. That paranoia is certainly going to help, but finally the plant is in. Mame still has that op, has the op, bought the op at the beginning of the round. They have no idea that Mame has this. There's still a player over towards Long that they have to deal with, but this crossfire is purely based over towards CT. But Mame still approaches with a kill onto Automatic. Curry now on a 1v2 with only 55 HP. Still has some flashes too that he can use, but has no clue where his opponents are. He has finally isolated things back over towards Elbow. He's just holding on to this corner. Mame going in for the wide swing. Curry getting pressured over towards Long. Marv finally going for the wide swing. Wasn't enough time to delay. I don't think it was, Sully. It's going to be Envy taking away a 4th round.
Ooh!
Close, right?
Half
Close.
a second.
Close.
Half a second. If Curry was able to live for a split second longer, it would have been a T1 round. But Envy, these rounds, they are just so close. T1 able to somehow scrap their way back into a 2v2 situation. And I mean, Envy, it felt like for a second that when Curry was in that 1v1, there should have been a chance for him to win, but he's not able to close it out, unfortunately. Still, though, Envy, a lot of pressure being applied despite having the information that it was going to be a B play. They were still unable to hold it down and keep them off of the site. T1 still with the lesser weapons in this round will be looking to do a little bit more damage this time around, as Envy, their economy is very fragile at this point in time.
Uh-oh, Victor needs to get a big frag off early, but nobody's even going to approach. It's going to be yet another early approach from T1 that just leaves empty pressure over towards that B site.
Deep shock dart from Crash. He's anticipating the B play, and they've even rotated 3 players over here as well. Revive and a showstopper are the ultimates for Envy, and a Viper's Pit for T1. If the spike goes down, that could be their saving grace, but Crashies doesn't check that corner. That might allow, I think, Curry to slip through, but he holds. He waits, bides his time, doesn't take the early fight. Crashies cheating through the elbow smoke, or apologies, the Viper wall towards elbow. And it's great timing for Envy. Marv tossing a great dart cover towards long, buying even further time, and kind of just making this a super hard exit for T1 to work into.
Yeah, this is very low util usage, and they want to maintain it low. They have a Viper's Pit for that post plant, which there they could definitely expend whatever util they want. But even then, they're just holding it up slow, and finally they're able to burst. And Sully, they're throwing everything at Envy. Dawn gonna be able to get a kill back. Skadoodle with a ghost trading back FNS, but it's still 2 kills back to back. 25 seconds left in the round, and it's Brax bouncing in a couple of bullets back in Hookah. Take away a kill and elbow, and it is now Envy stuck in a 2v3. Skadoodle going for a cheeky jump peek. He ends up getting paranoid out, and TP back into elbow where Curry is there to get the kill. Oh my word. Marved, is this even possible? A 1v3 with 2 players in elbow, but oh my, watch out. It's gonna be this, oh no, it's gonna be the Hound going out first, and okay, Skadoodle right up from behind, kind of dry, but just kind of depending on the Hound. It works. Sully, the word on your screen, it says thrifty for a reason. It was an eco.
Envy, dude, they are just not having it on this B site. 3 players, but they can't get anything to delay this push. T1 and allow the util to come out from Envy. Cut noise, and then a quick burst play. We saw like 4 things just fly across the site.
Yeah.
A recon bolt, a snake bite, I think a sky flash as well, and then the snake bite as well to add to it. So they were very prepared for it. It looks like an early paranoia setup from Skadoodle just in case they feel pressure from that showstopper, but nothing. Victor looking instead down towards mid, hasn't revealed as to who he is, or at least what agent is taking that early fight. And T1 kind of respecting that. They don't want to walk into any early pistols, but it is going to be at least Crashes who slips through the cracks and maybe has an opportunity with this close range frenzy.
Yeah, they've just completely abandoned B, just off of this one Crash he's playing. Crash. He can't go anywhere, dude. He's just absolutely done for. Shock dart in the middle of his face. Nade going in 2, but Envy is still committing to an A-hold. This could be, this is simultaneously like 50 IQ and like 1,000 IQ at the exact same time. Let's see it, Sully. I mean, they might as well. T1 is slowly making their approach as we speak with just about 50 seconds left.
Yeah, I think T1's idea was that with that 1 kill on the Crashes, they might overcommit to a rotation and automatic. Dismantling the A defense, despite there being a stack, it wasn't really going to work out. There's a res available, though, however, if they can get a kill on the wall up. So they're actually pretty split apart here, and there's a free revive for a 3v3, and that's the showstopper back in line. That's the key play here. They still have Curry left over towards Showers. There's the TP, there's the play, there's the fight, and nothing really working out here for Envy as they immediately fall back to the A site where Curry is lying in wait for the plants.
Yeah, literally full committing is all that these guys can do at the moment. Victor just trying to chase Brax, and Brax is somehow escaped and away. He's stuck up in the corner. Victor just trying to hard clear everything that he can hard clear. Finally finds Brax and finally is going to be able to get the kill. Gets the headshot. Curry coming up from behind over towards bathroom. Could be able to make a little bit of a short flank. Skadoodle, oh no! Trying to play cheeky with a gap of the smoke. Or potentially just peekaboo with that smoke dissipating, but wasn't able to get anything. So instead, it's just that kill back. Skadoodle gets himself a second. Now it's only a 1v2. The showstopper is still, no, the showstopper is gone. Victor can't get anything. And 2 players survive for T1. It was a very laborious hold and a marathon at that, but it worked.
Yeah, Envy with that A-side stack really disrupting the T1 play. And then taking the TP. I thought that's where maybe Victor uses that showstopper, but holds on to it. Unfortunately, doesn't get any value out of it. Mame at revive all for naught. And T1 currently holding a pretty solid lead, right? Up by 1 round with the credits as well in their favor. So a lot of things leaning to their side. But Envy, with this buyback, they need to win this round to at least disrupt this first half and not give T1 that same advantage that they gave them on split with an 8-4 start. So Envy, this is the round where things need to change. A very deep wall coming out. from Mame to at least hold down Showers.
Yeah.
But it's T1 that are respecting. This is the gameplay they've gone for. This is what they did with Dazed on the lineup, is when the util came out, let them have it, let it all dissipate, and then we'll retake an exec a site.
And I think we may have to look at a retake mentality here for the B site. We have 2 players stuck up in hookah, real close. And, oh no, the snake bite's not gonna do anything. And not only that, but they have all the pings in the world. They get that information from the back person on site. And just like that, this site, it could potentially be wide open. They have no idea yet. Finally, Automatic is through, taking down FNS. So 1 person in the back of site. Marved with a headshot position, gonna be able to take down Automatic. But still a 1-man advantage, 2-man advantage now for T1 as they take the B site, and they're gonna be able to get that spike plant.
There's nothing you can do. Paranoia on a guiding light straight into Octagon. No chance you're going to hold that off. A late guiding light just to check for any long presence. This has to be a 6th here from T1. No way they let it slip through, but it's the 2 best. The duelist, Mame and Victor. One approaching up towards the long side, and nobody is looking. Nobody's really looking in this direction. He has a chance, and he's got Victor. Or apologies, he's got Skadoodle. First blood is drawn on this retake, but there's another trade back from Braxton. Yeah, Victor in the 1v3, he's good, but unfortunately, I don't think he's that good. He does get one. It's just exit at this point.
Yeah, that's another fadeaway nade that we've seen Victor just nail. I don't know, is it like something with Victor at the moment that like when he's desperate, his nades just hit just right? He's good at fadeaways, man. He's good in the clutch. Hitting some dimes, but Envy, with only 2 rounds left, they don't exactly have too many dimes. Sully, see how I brought that back? Just about 2K to 3K in the bank, and they have to sacrifice a lot for this buy.
Especially with these last 2 rounds, you want to hopefully get the best buy possible for the remaining of them, and this is unfortunately all they can get. 3 sets of light shield, 1 on a Spectre. Victor, the only one who was the only one that saved from that last round. He's the only one with a decent or full buy, I guess you can say. Envy. 2 rounds left to play in this half. You cannot give T1 that 8-4 lead, and they're going aggressive down A shore. They want the early info. The Viper's wall is all they're banking on, that nobody's fighting towards Showers, and they've got the info. No one to watch the flanks here for T1, so if Envy want to keep on pushing these 3 players, Marv, Victor, and FNS, it could be perfect, and Crashies is just keeping them here with that Hunter's Fury. Util dumped by Envy, and T1, they know it as well. They're going to try and anchor this site.
That's probably the weirdest color of green that I've ever seen on that Sage wall, but as we continue, it's the Viper wall over and long, just adjusting up for time, and I do like this Seeker's play, Sully, clearing out at least 1 position of Mame, and T1, wow. They're just going to utilize this to go away, and look at the flank from NB2, it could just work out, it could converge over here on short, and indeed it will. FNS is going to be able to get 1, make it 2, he's fully blind and he's still alive. Dawn finally gets that kill back, Victor coming in from short at the exact same time, and just like that, Envy, with players on the flank, they readjust, they hustle their way back to A, and just like that, well, those are the players that make it work.
You saw the idea from T1 is that you saw the Seekers go back behind you. I think they were anticipating that they weren't that, like, or they were a little bit closer on that flank and they would have had better timing, but no, they were just hovering around that market position. Their rotation was so quick from Envy. Those 3 players, Victor, FNS, and Marv, ready to dance back to that A side, and they were prepared for the play. T1, 6-5. Last round of this half, Automatic has got a judge to expect some flying rays shenanigans into the site. But it's Envy who will use the early Viper's Pit to take full A short control, and that makes it even more difficult for that blast back kind of play.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can do here if you're Automatic. You just kind of chill out. There's 2 people right in the middle of smoke too. 1 person watching out towards bathroom. T1 just biding out their time. And there's not much for them to really bide either. It does look like they're trying to readjust their positions back over towards B though.
I'd hope so. You know, you don't want to really walk into a Viper's Pit like that. Marv there as well. So if there were a paranoia to try and clear it out, Marv would just instantly respond back with one of his own. They're still worried about Showers. I mean, that Viper's wall up as well kind of prohibits and restricts the vision that Envy can get towards Showers. So it's a gamble, I'd say, for Victor to rotate back, but I think he's confident enough that there's no Showers presence, and instead it is going to be a B hit here from Envy. However, or apologies, T1, we saw how they kind of bailed out in that last round. They could do it here again. Rax showing some presence, trying to at least bring rotations back to the A side, or at least the focus from Envy onto the A side, when in reality, they're ready for the burst play. Rax is back with his team. Here they come, T1.
Here they come. Envy. They have 2 players to try to hold this back. What a setup! So much aggressive util, and there's still 2 players remaining in this corner. Brax, watch out for him. Watch out for Victor in the middle of sight. He's gonna be able to get himself 2. He's gonna be able to get himself 3. What a crossfire from Victor! And the 2 players, Ahuka, will they hold it down, Sully? Envy, a lock jaw hold is theirs, and they tie up the scoreline 6-6 going into the second half.
Yeah, it's completely flawless. You can see T1, all the attention is drawn to Crashies as Victor just sits in that corner for the 3K. Perfectly done from Envy to close out the half, keeping things tied 6-6 moving forward. T1, all the advantages lied with them. They had the rotation. They had almost a perfect read. But again, Envy, they gambled. They took the gamble that no one was going to be showers, and Victor took it right. He landed on green, and Envy, they close out the half again on kind of a sweet note, despite the half being super sour for them, similar to that first map of Split. T1, this is their favorite side, though. A 94% win rate across the 2 best of 3s they've played. This is it for them, T1. We'll see if they can lock it down here as Envy approach on the attack.
Again, T1, they have proved themselves worthy of making it through to close qualifiers like this. But Envy, if I'm not mistaken, is probably their tallest task yet. I think the last time that we saw T1 face off against tier 1 opponents, they faced off against X-Sets and Sentinels. In the open brackets, T1, they can have a little bit cooler of a time. But if they win this one out, Sully, we hyped it up for a reason. If these guys win this game, this is quite the statement that T1 is actually here to stay at around the top 10 region of NA. And let's see what T1 can actually do. Yeah,
Job ain't done. 7 more rounds to go, T1. Victor making that spot. Great boom, but that'll delay it by a little bit of time. And I love the nade. The fade away from Automatic does a phenomenal job. And a Skadoodle in the back as well to support. A great hold already from T1. But Envy, we know they can break it down. Slow warp to try and catch Automatic, but instead, I think it unfortunately kind of slows them down themselves. And now the push has been disrupted. How do Envy try and reset now that they know rotations are on their way?
30 seconds left.
It's going to be slow to say the least, Sully. They already have one person starting to inch their way over towards A, but they might be in their own heads that the rotations are going down. No, it could just be a fake. In we go, though. Automatic going to be able to get a kill back onto Marv. There's still one in the back of sight. That's Skadoodle taking out Victor, still with that trade. And this site is wide open, done and dusted. The spike is down.
Ooh, shock dart, though. Not going to be enough to deny it. Only is just a single. Brax. Recon Bolt, not a lot of info. That guiding light trying to set them up, but nobody's caught full blinded. And it's a deadly crossfire here. Mame sitting around that corner, but look at the HP. Yeah.
Whoa!
HP is so lit. And Dawn, he's going to find another.
What?
From the grave. Dawn has just won them the round. Yes, Brax got the final kill, but it was a 1v1 because Dawn somehow gets it.
What? We need a replay. Where did he even run into to catch on that snake bite? That was insane. That. I mentioned like cheese earlier or just one-off plays, and that was it, Sully. Why not? From beyond the grave, it's a Red Bull clutch. It's a 1v2 that ended up getting pulled off. And, I mean, we just kind of get to see the flow of the round. What happened here? Oh, no!
My goodness, FNS. Is it really a 2v1? Because Don from the grave is still supporting his team. That's a true team player. That's a team player right there. Wow, Envy, that is a calamity to lose a round like that, and now they're going to suffer because of it. T1 back with a full buy, and Envy have to approach here on the attack.
What is going to be the response? Sully, they have invested quite a bit into this round for sure. But look at the setup from T1. They have Skadoodle on top of Car, and they do have them lineups going. Brax had to get held up a little bit, but he's back. And look at the amount of util being expended here on site. And I don't really think it's going to equate into too much control from T1. It is lost cause here for T1. Envy has an immediate plan.
Yeah, so much util dropped out from Envy to lock it up, right? That Viper wall, the Sage wall as well towards U-Haul, making it very difficult. Automatic will clear out the close cubby outside Showers, right by Shroud, and Mummy. He's up close with just a frenzy. It's pistols for Envy, but it's been good so far. Is it good enough to close it out?
Dawn still going in, gonna be able to take down yet another one, and Mame and Automatic back onto Victor over in short. And just like that, these last two players from Envy have been choked out over towards short. It's gonna have to be Marv to pull off an insane 1v4, blind through smoke. And that was very simple util usage to actually regain that site back. Very well done.
Yeah, I mean, T1, they just work together. They know that they have the lesser guns. Envy, they waltz their way in a site, using a paranoia, kind of clearing out angles with utility, and I mean, it's effective retake from T1, and they're gonna pick up an 8th. Now Envy, they put a lot in that round. Utility, weapons as well. They're back to another eco, and this is a dire straits, I'd say, for Envy. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but at this point, you really need to start turning it up a notch, or else you might find yourselves in a 2-0 situation where you lose this series because you start to lose ground, you start to lose the economy game, and things start to take a turn for the worse.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's gonna be dire straits for Envy, because again, this is a free bonus for T1 essentially.
Yeah.
They're holding on to the SMGs for what is 2-3 rounds. They're definitely not gonna rebuy next round. Yeah, it's free though. Let's see if Envy can take away really any of these SMGs. Skadoodle unscoped, doing a pretty good job, taking down his opponent over towards Bathroom. Finally, Marv is a little bit more of an issue. Turns around, takes down Mame. Now it's just Marv now in a 1v5. Gonna be able to take down one, but that's really all that he could ask for as Curry comes in from heaven, takes him down, and it's a nice but also not so nice score for Envy of 6-9. Rifles are back in the hands of Envy though, Sully, like we mentioned, but this could just be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
It's 4 Spectres saved up here from T1. Dawn, the only one reinvesting into a rifle, really. And Envy, like you said, the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is the round that might decide the future of this series. You lose this, Envy. You have no credits to purchase up in the next one. Well, you have a little bit because you're at max loss bonus, but you're battling an uphill fight. The boulder on your back. It is so difficult here in the up.
Oh,
it's
wow.
just going to make it 10 times harder to work into the A site. Ult comes out to play, and no space will be allowed here by Envy as T1 completely dominating the A short game. If they want to split back into A, it's really not going to get split. It's full focus to Showers, and they realize working back towards the B site, but no early rotations yet from T1. They're cautious, they're patient, and they're watchful.
And remember, Sully, this is such a pivotal round. Envy want to fight for this. They're going right into short, still with a little bit of utility. It could just be empty noise, could just be a little bit of empty pressure. But from a boom bot being expended, it's a little bit rough too. They're still fighting for it.
Yeah, I think they expected. I mean, a paranoia comes out from Skadoodle to force these players back. A Trailblazer deep into A Showers. And look at this, the Seekers are going back, but they're not convinced. I'm not too sure what Curry's idea is here. But he's made that rotation so much noise, but they're not committed. They can take the Shower CB, but it is such a huge risk. T1 are playing a very risky game right now. This is not something you want to see in such a crucial round.
No, this entire time, we're only seeing 2 players here on this A site. Envy can go anywhere. They have no control of Bathroom whatsoever. And there you go. Bathroom is the route here for Envy. And all is lost for T1, except for short. Of course, they still have those 2 players there. Let's see what happens, though, off of this. Envy is still fighting for it. Skadoodle gonna be able to get a big kill onto Crashies. Victor just running right into spawn. Gets himself a big kill onto Brax. Automatic going right into the middle of the pit. Gonna be able to take down one in FNS. Still that showstopper going right into the middle of the cloud, but not gonna be able to find anything. Victor with a big kill. 2v3 for Envy at the moment, as now Dawn has been left out of the Viper's pit and outside of the spike plant reach. This is all too tough now for Dawn and Skadoodle to try to make their way through, and yeah, it's too much to deal with. Victor gonna be able to get 2 more at the end, 4 on the round, and it's a huge round for Envy.
Yeah, I mean, that is just absurd coming out from T1. The early rotations, I'm still a little confused by it, but Envy, they make the read. They clear out that Viper's pit, or they don't really even clear it out. They kind of just reroute themselves back towards Showers, knowing that focus is going to be there. But to have that constricted kind of style on that A site, to know that your back is always going to be watched by a Viper, possibly with that Viper's pit going up, it's amazing that Envy are able to pull it out. They use a Viper's pit of their own, obviously, to counter back. So effectively, 2 Viper's pits going down, and Envy's comes out on top. T1. A round that was so crucial. It could have been, again, like you said, the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's back to the drawing board, and an operator for Curry. He's going to take this op fight, but he's not going to get anything, as the Yellow Drone is going to effectively force him off the angle early.
That's a good win. Well, he's going to be able to get that orb back. With the recent update put in from patch 3.0, we ended up seeing Most characters in this game, their ult points go up to 8. And this is where it could kind of be effective. Around like this, I would like to see that Hunter's Fury go out. But unfortunately, a couple more charges would have to do it. A little bit of a rant on the side, who knows. And Marved, early on, though, going to be able to take down Curry. And that's the op going down, Sully, in short.
Yeah, I like that. Marv is able to lurk up after the Trailblazer, only catching FNS deep in the back of A short. So you don't expect Marv to really lurk up that deep. Op not retrieved. It's just 1 kill, 30 seconds left. What's the play? 3 players on this B side going back towards A, and yep, Marv has got the 2nd kill. That's the effectivity of his lurking powers.
Cover going up.
And now they can really put on the pressure. T1, it should just be a save, I think, from here.
Yeah, it should just be T1. They've been scrapping a little bit for cash. And this next round was already going to be, you know, super important for them to try to get a couple of kills back and forth to at least make things a little bit more possible. But Envy still sticking around with 5 players. T1, the only real thing that they can do is try to sneak their way into the back of spawn or near spawn to try to get a couple of exit frags. Otherwise, you're absolutely right. It's an 8th round for Envy, and T1 is starting to show some of their gaps.
Good timing mainly from Marv in this round. I mean, that's the effectivity of a lurk. That's what a good lurk does. You get timings, you get picks, you open up a site, you cause disruption to the opposing team. And Marv, not alone, but he does win the round with 90% of what he does. And Marv, like you said, on that hunt, I don't think there's much that Envy want to lose here, given their economic state and trying to maximize their guns. Marv, he does end up going down nonetheless. 8-9, Envy. 1 round gap between these 2 teams, and T1 to struggle some battle here, because that 2nd round in a row from Envy definitely putting on a little bit of pressure to T1. And situations like this, where again we talk about Marv being able to be this aggressive lurker and catch players and teams off guard, he does a phenomenal job there to catch T1 unawares. And we'll see if that theme continues as Envy strong buy in their favor, plenty of credits. Now it's now the ball is in their half of the court, and T1 have to try and bring it all the way back.
Standing ahead.
I do find this a little bit interesting. T1 is still trying to supplement a little bit with that buy. You still have a Spectre supporting out, at least in terms of the safe in the last round, but otherwise still relatively cut and dry from the amount of util that they had from the last round, and from the amount of util that they weren't able to expend, considering the fact that they were stuck on B. However, early on, it's Envy still splitting up 2-2 over towards B, and a lot of early util to try to win a Buka here, Sully, and it might not work. Oh! No, it totally works. Oh, my word. Actually, no, the util didn't work. Victor worked. What a kill from Victor up close, and of course, the faraway one was even better. 3 kills going back and forth now for Envy, as now T1 is left out and away of the A site. Or, I'm sorry, of the B site. Oh.
Yeah, and Envy's just maximizing the ult points they can get. You give 1 to Victor for a showstopper. Give the spike over to Mame to get the revive online. This is a perfect round for Envy as well. It sets up their economy, sets up their ult points. FNS just looking to be the closer here. If he can get 2 kills of his own, it would be fantastic. And he's already got 1 of the 2. Skadoodle, though, with a Phantom, it's going to be good to punish. Now, can he get out alive? Victor's watching that flank, but Skadoodle still dancing. He's got 2 exits. Not going to be too much to worry about if you are Envy, but nonetheless, a 9-9 scoreline, tying things right back up. And there was a point in time where we were saying this is the round that could break Envy.
Yeah.
Envy stand tall.
Yeah, that was not too long ago. I would like to say, like, probably 10 minutes ago, we were saying something along the lines of, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, sir, but not anymore. 3 straight rounds going back for Envy. 3 straight rounds from T1 early on in the half, and we're back to square one, Sully. It's yet another tie scoreline. This one's getting fun.
And this is what you expect from Envy, right? This is what we wanted to see come out in that first map, but it just didn't show. The aggressive plays, the confidence, the swagger from a player like Victor, and those lurks from Marv, they're finally coming out here in map number 2. It's better late than never, but T1, like we were saying earlier, job is not done for either of these teams. One slip-up could be their demise, and Automatic completely missing out on that showstopper. Skadoodle trying to go for a crunch, and it's all for naught. Automatic only with a single kill. There's that second. These nades coming in so useful. But again, another trade back turn, and Marv just somehow worked his way off of a teleport. He's taking that ultimate and trying to make the most of it. A 2 versus 2. and a revive available. But Mame watching this angle might get punished if he's not careful.
I was about to say this could turn into a 2v1 for really either team very
goodness me.
quickly. But my, oh my! It's just the control of that back line that ends up leaving the spike without their favorite Marved. With that TP over towards back spawn, it could have been left as potentially a little bit of a bait, but instead, his prey is instead the Predator. He's right behind him! Done! Makes the loop, takes down Marv, and little did Marv know is that Dawn was just around the corner this entire time. So unfortunate for Envy, very fortunate for T1. They'll take that all the way to the bank, Sully. Almost literally, they were on the verge of yet another reset, and now they're here.
Yeah, a little bit of a change of pace from T1. I don't think that's what anyone expected with Automatic going so deep, and then a double TP plus a showers push. Great timing from T1. I don't know if that's a read or if that's just a gamble call, but it works out at the very end in Envy. That tied scoreline, it slips away for a moment, but can they bring it back? Last back out from Victor to try and assume early control, but that's a great recon bolt. But do they commit? We know Envy to be a team that just loves to cancel and work their way back into a site. I mean, the Salodron's not even being broken. Nothing's being punished here from T1, and it's open season at the moment. Skadoodle takes that TP, but now they know he has a TP to get out himself. He sits back in the A site. Automatic there to punish. A beautiful timing on Marv. And there goes the lurk, but still 3 players. They're back to the A site. It's up to Skadoodle, and he's got no util to support his team here.
Well, certainly not. It has to be Dawn to try to help out, and Skadoodle really just has to go for a couple of frags, but my, oh my, indeed it is a fake. Envy is going back, and they've gone all the way back towards mid. Now, however, they are collecting up more control of this A site as we go, so it seems like it's in fully their control. Dawn is all the way out in the open, though, and could be able to catch off a frag or two. There goes FNS. He's fully healed, and Envy have full control of site after that Viper wall just goes up at the exact same time. Dawn has covered himself up just to try to get a couple of spray downs, but with a Sage wall, with a Viper wall, with a whole lot of util, that's finally going to be the plant down for Envy.
Yeah, and Envy can just play this post plant. Crash, he's got the Hunter's Fury. Showstopper as well for Victor. It's so difficult if you're T1. You're probably considering a save at this point because your economy's not in the best shape whatsoever in Envy. They have pulled out the 10th, tying things back up. T1 with a 3-player save. Envy working their way around the map, and T1 just not ready for it.
It's so unfortunate. So unfortunate because I think the play over towards mid that I was kind of looking at and really hoping for something cheeky was, I think it was the Omen TP. Man, that TP over to the other side of the map, because of that ulti, you could have, in theory, just left, you know, TP completely empty and they would have no clue. That could actually be an opportunity for a crossfire. I'm just theory crafting at this point. Because that last round, there wasn't much to theory craft about. It was just a very clean take, a very slow one at that, and a great lurk from FNS. He's doing a great job just attracting a lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean, he was a backdoor. It's like, okay, if you guys want, commit to the B site. If you want, you could come back to A, and he gets a pick, and they go back to the A site. So, lurks on lurks on lurks. Marv and FNS, 2 main players when it comes to that lurking power. And Victor leading the server at the moment, playing out of his mind in this second map to bring Envy to a 3rd. Shock Dart and the Guiding Light cause a little disruption. Information given here to T1, but what's the read? 3 players still on this A site, and even a 4th rotating. This is a huge misplay from coming out from T1. I think they might have seen their issues, knowing that the players are focused on. I think maybe they're just anticipating a TP play, but at this point, that's a little bit too risky. And yeah, not gonna pay out. Curry good for the 1-for-1 trade, but he's just overwhelmed from long as well. No support system, and Envy have the site essentially open to themselves.
That same situation again, and Crashies might just make it a little bit easier for the rest of Envy. T1 running into that brick wall where it's Crashies taking another one down and still has the angle. Don and Skadoodle certainly not trying to not trying to dry peek. It's Crashies really just going for a couple of shoulder peeks, a couple of jiggle peeks, and potentially finding a little bit of information. Finally finds the last, goes down to the last, but it's Mummy with a trade kill. 11-10 scoreline going back towards Envy, and Envy now finally have Sully their first lead ever since the first half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and now T1, they realize, okay, this isn't looking too good. Let's take a moment, let's breathe, let's relax, and figure out what we need to do. Timeout. First one we've seen all day, and T1 using it at the perfect moment, I feel. This is a tricky play to call because it's Envy that right now they're kind of just playing really quick burst plays, setting themselves up, not really using like crazy default setups. You kind of just get information, and T1, unfortunately, I think most of the time it's just been really poor reads. Like that round in particular, it looked like for a second Brax was ready to rotate to A, and then he comes back and he gets caught out from the player Hookah, and then it's just Curry sitting there alone having to dance between two different angles. So T1, things need to fix up here quickly. What's the exact solution? All I can suggest is don't over-rotate. You see Envy and how they're playing these lurks. They've done it over and over. You just need to be wary of it.
But they've been getting caught off a lot from kind of keeping their players on. I do like how you mentioned, you know, potentially over-rotations being a little bit of an issue because, I mean, we've seen it be an issue, but, you know, in all honesty, you know, just the initial formations that they're playing at the moment, the initial positions that they're playing, right now, this setup, I feel like is completely fine. You put 2 over towards B, maybe 1 rotate over towards B off of contact, but otherwise, I feel like if we're seeing a 4-1 split for T1, then I would call it over-rotating. But we haven't seen any of those, you know, too many of those thus far, you know.
I mean, they did it last round, and that's what unfortunately cost them it, so hopefully they don't do it here.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what their IGL is even saying at the moment. Just like, hey, calm it down. Don't make any drastic decisions, because that rotate was definitely drastic.
Hunter's Syrian showstopper available. It's going to definitely be a set piece where Victor takes his contact. If he gets the kill, blast back out. They'll find themselves a 12th, and there it goes. No Hunter's Syrian to accompany, though. Victor trying to go out big and going up huge with another massive kill. Brax still dancing. He needs to come up massive here in the backside, and he's delivered a second kill, but it's FNS striking back for a double. Still, the Golden Boys stand strong in Brax. Finding 3 kills. He doesn't know 1 slip behind him, and they don't even know where the commit is going to be taken. Brax has got no idea where the second player is. And Crashies, he assumes it's a fake. Or apologies, not Crashies. Curry assumes it's a fake. It's the Omen that took the TP, and they don't know if it's an actual A hit.
Not again! And they have no information on the B site. This is a disaster. Sully, you're making me eat my words. This is, well, yeah, technically an over-rotation, but golly gee dang it, Marv! He has A for free! It's so disastrous, but it's still going to be a 2-on-2. Now for T1 to try to hold it back. Brax is still alive, who currently has a 3K. Could certainly make it an ace. But look at this crossfire, though. It's going to be Crashies and Marv trying to play crossfire towards the back line of A, towards spawn. Crashies is just going for a contact peek. Marv, they have no clue where he is for now. Marv has actually gone all the way back to U-Haul, so a little bit safer to say the least. Still Crashies going for the info peek. Finally going to be Marv getting revealed. No, Marv goes out of shorts.
No time.
Curry still trying to go back, and like you said, no time. They gotta go now. Out goes finally the paranoia. Brax watching out for heaven. That thing is down to half, but Crashies finally gets a kill. Back under Curry with the shock dart, and at the exact same time, it's Marv capitalizing on his own target. It's a 12th round for Envy as they try to push this to a 3rd map.
Oh my goodness, T1, a calamity again. A huge read from Envy. And I mean, T1, they thought they could outsmart their opponents and assume that the Omen faked the teleport, but in reality, it was a full commit in Envy. 12-10. 1 more round, and it's T1, who have got nothing to their name. 2 ultimates, Viper's Pit and a Sova ult. Hunter's Fury is all they've got to work with here in Envy. All the guns, 3 ultimates as well. They've got 1 more as well. Viper's Pit once more activated towards A short, but how do they work it? Owl's drone already goes through Gus, and Dawn is in a tricky position as the guns already blaze, and there they go. 1 to fall, and possibly another to follow.
No way! Dawn still gets the kill! Dawn is still alive. Marv wasn't able to get it.
They're
now
saying
Curry
it.
coming back, and there you go. T1 is still in it.
Look at this positioning, automatic. He's watching for the flank. They tap the spike. Shock darts will deny the time. It's timing here. It really is down to timing. Curry can't get swung on here by Victor, but the spike, it's been tapped. Now it's been stuck. 2 players on the flank. Now it's the split attention. Victor and Curry need the crunch. They need the play here. Curry's going to take the heat. They shouldn't expect the flank at all from automatic, and they don't. Curry looking for the final kill as Crashies in the 1v3. Deep down, and he's got it down to just 2. Shock darts out, but it's no time. There's another kill. He's got more to do. Here's the blast back goes in. Automatic and Crashies. A 1v3 to send us to map number 3.